What's going on, you guys? It is your boy, the American F1 fan, Eric Ringle here, and we're back for My Team Career Mode, Episode 3. Moving on to Japan, we've got about a week and a half before we have the Japanese race, and so we're kind of fighting right now to really develop the car to just get it as close as we can, to kick Sauber, to some of the lower teams in the midfield to at least have some kind of fight. Now, if you guys missed the last episode, again, it was just a fight that we were just nowhere near ready for. As we were in China, we had the rain, the setups were we're still trying to learn setups. And in the rain, we were just not able to get anywhere. We're still at the back of the field, but we do show pace at times. And we did see that we're actually pretty decent on a straight line. So downforce has obviously been one of our big keys when we're, looking at upgrades and stuff like that. And one of the first things we did when we were doing the upgrades of the facility, we made sure that Aero was one of those departments. But now that Arrow's almost done, one of the things that we're going to also have to do is to get the chassis, and so that we're able to start upgrading more parts for the chassis, so that we're able to, get these upgrades coming a little bit quicker and a little bit faster, and hopefully improve the team a lot quicker. So I've gone ahead and assigned some of the different tasks for this week within each different department. So we're going to kind of fast forward through, see if some of the upgrades that we have been working on will go through. So as we're sitting here going through the days.
Hey, Chief. We've got multiple parts out of research. Don't forget to develop them. We've got performance sitting on the table that we could be getting into the car.
So as he said there, we've got some parts that have come out of research. So we're going to go check that out and see what we have available. And it honestly, it looks like nothing's really available for the time. So we're going to go ahead and keep fast forwarding. So it looks like we had a part fail here. So we're going to go in here into engineering and find out what. Now we did get our aero breakthrough. That was one of the things. So that really helps us out in the research department. So now moving on to development, we're going to find out, let's see what. So durability failed in the development. So we're going to have to develop that before we can move on to the more of the gearbox. So we're going to redevelop that for 55,000. And then once that one finishes off, we'll be able to move this other one into and develop the gearbox as well. We have 1 day left on this floor stiffening tray, and then we have 4 more days before this also gets the floor stiffening stays also get developed. So that'll be a huge upcoming development for us that we'll be able to add to the car. So we're going to go to facility improvements. So one of the other things that I just talked about was that we need to make sure that we can start doing a second chassis upgrade or second chassis upgrade at the same time. So I'm going to look through and see right here, research expansion chassis. This will allow you to research 2 projects at the same time in your chassis department. We really need that. It'll increase our workforce as well. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that purchase. So we've got that. Looking at personnel, one of the things I'm not great at is the contractor management, which is personnel. So I want to have somebody be able to take that on for us a little bit. So I'm going to confirm that for us as well. And then on the corporate side, we got 3 days left until the sponsor negotiation team is done. Then we can start working on the merchandising department, because that'll bring in a lot of income for us as well. So moving back to advancing days, we have, let's see, so we've got an owner message. We got the error developmental breakthrough that he got an email for. Go here to research and development. So research. So they completed research on the ICE improved materials, and that also unlocked the MGUK improved materials. So we got that. And then we're still, like I said, we're still working on getting a second chassis upgrade. But we've also got some engine pistons are getting researched right now, so that's all done, dusted there. We're going to go to development. And chassis. This one failed, so we need to go ahead and redevelop the upgrade here. So that's got 4 days. So that'll still go on in time for the race in Japan. What am I missing here? Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to start researching improved materials for the durability, because we're getting towards that point where we should start to potentially have durability issues. Now, if you look at the team performance indicators here, we're less, but we're starting to slowly work ourselves up towards Kick and Alpine, Visa Cash App, and at least putting ourselves at least a little bit more into the fight. So we're going to go ahead and move on as well. Ooh, and we had some stuff go through, it looks like. So, research, we got the beam wings. So now that opens us up for the halo and the wing mirrors. So we can start looking into that. Because downforce is a huge thing. So the secondary flaps are there. We can start looking into the wing mirrors. And we can start looking into the halo, because it looks like the halo will be a huge upgrade. So we're going to start research on the halo area, because we need to get some rear downforces. I've noticed while driving the car, one of the things that I've noticed is that the car gets very, very tail happy. And then we're also going to research, we can't research the plank quite yet, because there is one part that's still got 4 days before we can start looking at researching that.
Chief, I must remind you that we have parts fully researched that are waiting for development. Let's get that performance on the car.
Okay. So we've got parts that are ready to go. Owner training.
You've earned a training point. Performing your duties as an owner will earn you more training points that can be used to purchase training courses like these here, helping you to develop your skills and become a more effective leader. When you purchase one, you'll then need to schedule time in the activities screen to attend the course and gain the benefit from it. There are 3 different areas of training that you can pursue, and where you choose to focus your efforts will determine what kind of leader you are, represented by your specialization. Why don't we spend that training point now, and then go to schedule the course?
So this will be huge for us if we do the engineering. It'll increase our weekly resource points income by 10%. And we really need to do that right now. So we've unlocked that training. So that's going to be something that we'll have to do after this Grand Prix weekend. We'll get that set up for the training there. So then we also have developments, and we need to assign an upgrade. So the floor stiffening trays are done. So now we're going to be able to go ahead and get, I want to get a second one there. So we're going to develop that and get the beam wing done. And then we're going to assign upgrades. So the floor stiffening trays, which is new, we're going to assign that. So right now, Sonny's the guy that we've been kind of packaging as the guy we want, getting all the upgrades off the bat. So if I'm looking, I'm going to give the chassis upgrade that's sitting on Sonny's car. I'm going to give that over to Juan Manuel, and then give him the upgrade. So we're going to equip that to, actually, we can keep the other upgrade on Hayes as well. So we're going to give him that upgrade. And we're going to move a little bit further in.
Hey, me again. Got another question for you.
Ooh, okay. So a leading technology company has approached us with the proposal to develop a cutting-edge VR F1 simulator experience. This could be a fantastic way to engage fans, but it requires a substantial financial investment. Should we move forward with the opportunity? So now this would cost us $50K if we were to go ahead and accept it, which right now we need to get our fandom up. We're only at a level 1. So right now we need to do whatever we can to, get fans to back our team. So we're going to go ahead and accept this now and spend that $50K. Where, we definitely have the money to spend it right now, because we can't really, update the facilities quite yet. We're still waiting on 7 days for the research expansion in the chassis department. We've got basically, corporate is available to go. So we need to go ahead and do the merchandising development, and that'll bring in more money for us. And then we need to also go to development here. And we've got durability. That one finally has gotten done. So now we're going to go ahead and do this, which will get the ICE materials in about 9 days. And then I got to assign the gearbox, and I'm going to go ahead and to equip that to Correa for right now. So he's got at least an upgrade on his vehicle, while we're still waiting for other parts to basically double up so that each person has the exact part we need. And we're all set, ready to go to the Japanese Grand Prix. We did have one more research and development come up here. So we're going to go in here. Floor stiffening stays. The upgrade was unlocked. So we got that done. We've got the cable assembly, which is now done. So next thing we're going to do for here is we're going to do the plank. Need to start researching that. And then also, I think that's going to be it for as far as what we need to do. So we can move on to the development area and the chassis. And this upgrade is completed. So now we'll be able to go ahead and produce this part, which will be just in time for or it'll be way in time for Miami, but it'll be just after Bahrain. So we'll go ahead and get that done as well. But it is time to move on to Japan and see what we can do with a car that's slowly but surely finally getting upgraded. And as I said, going into this weekend, I've driven the last 2 races with Juan Manuel Correa, but this week I'm going to drive with Sonny Hayes. So we're going to see how well we can do with Sonny as the driver we're driving with. So after free practice, we were able to get all of our goals through all the programs. We were able to get all of our points. So we got all full 862. I'll just show you a quick screenshot of what we were able to get with Sunny, so you guys know that we did in fact get all the points. But now we're getting ready for qualifying. I'm looking at his engine components. And one of the things I noticed in one of the practice sessions was I wasn't necessarily very happy with our speed. So I just wanted to look real quick and see if there was anything that was, potentially getting close to needing changed. And really the only thing that's getting close is the ICE, but that's at 55%. So I think we can make it one more race weekend with that. Before we have to start thinking about changing everything out. But we looked at least somewhat competitive, so I'm interested to see what we're going to be able to do in qualifying, where we're going to be able to qualify at, and will it turn into potential points for this weekend in Japan. So let's get into the qualifying now.
This is a circuit where sometimes you see something truly exceptional behind the wheel. We've seen it from Vettel. We've seen it from Verstappen. It is a remarkable place to watch a car at speed. Welcome to Suzuka. We're qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Radio check, radio check.
All right, so time for Q1. This is going to be a big push for us to try to get out of Q1. We've been on the limits ever since the beginning of the season, so we're going to obviously have to do 2 runs here to potentially get out of Q1, but it's going to be an awfully big task and an awfully big ask. But let's see what we can do on our first run in Q1. So setting off on our first Q1 lap, let's see what kind of lap we can put up. Heading down the main stretch, going into turn 1, we're going to have to carry a lot of speed here. Take it a little wide going into Q2, but not too bad. Through the Senna S's there, not too bad of a run there. This is a section that in practice I went wide at quite a few times, but did okay there. Got to carry a lot of speed through there. Didn't do too bad again. This was a section of the track that through practice I gained actually quite a bit of time in. Ran it a little wide. Good exit out of that corner. Now heading down into the 130R. Got to keep the speed up. Can't let off the gas at all. Tried to stay off the curbs as much as...
We're right on the cusp now. We've been pushed down to P11.
Good run through there. And what time are we going to set here? A 133.405. We're behind the likes of Antonelli and Hulkenberg. Let's see what that'll do for us once we return to the garage. So back in the garage, just going to check timing out, and we're literally right now 2.2 seconds off of the front of the grid with the likes of Lando Norris and Max. Got Lewis Hamilton sitting in third, but he's almost 0.6 off. And we're also looking, and you've got a lot of guys that are going to be way faster than us that have yet to set a lap time. And our teammate Juan Manuel is setting lap times just a little bit slower than us. He was 0.7 off, or he was actually 0.7 faster than us. Or no, I'm sorry. He was 0.3 faster than us in the first sector. So hopefully we can make up a little bit of that time. And as he sets a 132.708, so he's literally 0.7 quicker than us. So we're going to have to make up the time somewhere. I think first sector, the run was a little bit off. Maybe can make up some time there, and maybe in the last sector as well, make up some time there. But we're going to fast forward through time, get down to about 3 minutes to go before we head back out on track. So we're getting ready to head out on track. Last Q1 lap, let's see what we can do. So here's our last Q1 lap. What can we do? What can we pull out of the bag here? Heading down into turn 1. Great run through the Senna S's there. Much better than the first lap that we had. Good run through there, but we're just even on time. We're just not. Take it a little wide through there, but like I said, typically we gain time through there, and just not gaining any time. We're 0.2 down from our previous lap. Now we're up almost 0.2 now. What can we do?
Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap or that's qualifying over for us.
Improved by almost 0.2, but what will that do for us position-wise? 20th and almost dead last. So can't lie, Q1 qualifying has never been my strongest suit, as we can see here. Likes of Lando Norris led this session over Max Verstappen by less than 1/100th of a second, but Juan Manuel and I both do not get out of Q1. He's 0.5 faster than I am, but like I said, when it comes to qualifying, I'm not the greatest, but we do know that we're a little bit faster when it comes to race pace and on the straight. So let's see what we can do for the race.
As of 2022, 12 champions have been crowned at the Japanese Grand Prix. Who will be tasting glory today at the flag? The lights go out in a few moments' time. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Piastri, Tsunoda, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc, Russell, Ocon, Sainz and Fernando Alonso, Albon, Hulkenberg, Gabriel Bortoleto and Stroll, Doohan, Hadjar, Juan Manuel Correa and Liam Lawson, Antonelli, Hayes, Gasly. And Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And so we welcome you to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this race, and it's going to be some race, is Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
All right, so it's race time in Japan. We've got a two-stop strategy where we start on the mediums and go to 2 sets of soft, which we had 2 sets of soft left over, obviously, from qualifying because we didn't make it out of Q1. The alternate strategy would be to do a set of hards and then 2 sets of soft, but it looks like a 2-stop race for us today. Now, as far as fueling goes, I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I've been noticing that I've been, having a lot of fuel left over towards the end of the race. So I'm going to leave myself about a half a lap over on fuel just to see if, I can maybe cut some of that down as the race goes on. Or if I need be, I can make some of that up. But we've luckily or unluckily have had safety cars and red flags through the first 2 races. So that can also save us a little bit of fuel as well. So we're going to get into the race. Hopefully from 20th position, we can make up several positions on the start and maybe, just maybe, push ourselves for the first point of the season.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring their planned strategies are all in place.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A sensational drive once again. Max Verstappen takes the checkered flag.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
Well, another edition of the podcast is complete. We wander from the cool-down room to celebrate things on the podium. Well, we've seen this one before. Max Verstappen on the top step once again. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So after a very uneventful Japanese Grand Prix for our team, we end up finishing just a couple spots from last place. We had Jack Doohan chasing us down just towards the end as Juan Manuel Correa just started to fall off and wasn't able to defend his spot. But as you guys see, Max Verstappen with the victory in Japan, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris to close out the podium positions. You had the Haas of Esteban Ocon get sixth. Yeah, I mean, it's right now, it's with where our team is at, you know, we're just behind Kick, but now they're scoring points in a race with Nico Hulkenberg in Japan scoring a ninth place. But right now, we're just way off the pace. And I know some of that's due to me and, you know, sometimes my lack of skill, but you know, we should be starting to gain on all the teams ahead of us. And like I said, I wonder a little bit on whether or not my engine was starting to really be fatigued during that race. But it was a race to forget, unfortunately, for our team. But we'll have to move on. We've got Bahrain next, and hopefully we've got a ton more upgrades that we're going to be able to bring to the car. But guys, if you guys like these videos, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you guys are new for more daily and weekly Formula One content. But guys, I'm the American F1 fan, Eric Ringel, signing off.